Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the channel, my friends. Today we're continuing the chapter 3 of your class book, which is Exciting Environments. So 1. Look, listen and find. Look at this map of the world. It shows where some of the different environments are. Now listen to some information about the map. The equator is an imaginary line that dividing the world in half. Places near the equator are hot and wet all through the year. Find the equator on the map. Great, so this is the equator. Here's some important keys you should know. White is for cold places, brown is for deserts, yellow is for grassland, and green is for rainforest. Also here is for north, south, east, and west. Now let's solve this question. 1. What continents are on the equator? Correct, it's South America, Africa, and Asia. 2. What is the weather like in places near the equator? Correct, it's hot. So is South America near the equator? Yes, it is. Are there any rainforests in Europe? No, there aren't. Are there any deserts in Oman? Yes, there are. Are there any rainforests in Oman? Yes, there are. Next is look, listen, and match. Look at these pictures of 4 different environments. Can you remember the name of each type of environment? Match each picture to a name. We have here rainforests, ocean, grassland, mountain, desert, and cold place. Now listen to the description. 1. These are very dry places where there is little rain. Lots of these places are covered in sand, but some are covered in stones and rocks. Because there is so little water, only a few plants and animals can live here. 2. The coldest places on Earth are the Antarctic and the Arctic. This Antarctic is a frozen continent that is covered in ice. The Arctic is a frozen ocean surrounded by low land. In the Arctic, the land is frozen during the winter, but in the summer, the ice melts and for a short time, small plants grow here. 3. These are huge areas of the flat land covered by grasses. Some trees and small bushes grew here. There are usually hot, dry places where there is very little rain. 4. These are large areas of lands in places near the equator where lots of trees grow close together. They are usually hot, wet places where there is lots of rain in all through the year. Well done. Don't forget also to make a list of plants and animals you can find in the different environments. For example, ocean, fish, seaweed, and so on. For example, desert, we can find the camel and other animals. So I will leave the rest for you to write it on your exercise book. Next is look, read, and answer. One of Maha's friends has decided to enter the IKC competition. Look at her email to Maha, read through the email quickly, and answer these 3 questions. 1. Who is the email from? 2. What environments is she going to do her project about? 3. Where is she going to look for pictures? So this is the IKC competition, Exciting Environments. Enter our fantastic competition and you could win a trip to visit the environment you write about. Do a project about an environment and the animals, plants, and the people that live there. Send it to the IKC with your email address. So let's see what she wrote about. Dear Maha, I'm doing a project for the IKC Environment Competition. I want to do my project about deserts. I know you have deserts in Oman and I wanted to know if you could send me some information about them. Can you answer these questions for me? What are deserts like? Where are deserts? What is the weather like? What animals live in deserts? What plants grow in deserts? What people live in deserts? I'm going to look for the picture of deserts on the internet. But if you could have any photographs, you could also send me that. That would be great. Thanks for your help. Love, Carla. Well done. So the answer for 1, who is the email from? It's from Carla. 2, what environment is she going to do her project about? Is the deserts. And 3, where is she going to look for pictures? On the internet or waiting for Maha to send her some. Now, can you answer any of the questions Carla asks Maha in her email? That's what we'll find out in the next page. So read and match. Look at the information that Maha found for Carla. Read it to check or find the answers to the questions in Carla's email. So what are deserts like? Deserts are very dry places. They can be covered in sand, stones, or rocks. There is so little water that only a few people, plants, and animals live there. Where are deserts? There are deserts in Australia, Asia, Africa, and North and South America. The world's largest desert is the Sahara Desert in North Africa. What is the weather like? Most deserts are very hot during the day, but at night it can be very cold. Deserts are very dry places because there is very little rain. Sometimes it does not rain in the desert for many years. What animals live in deserts? Animals need water to survive, so only a few animals live in the desert. In the desert in Oman, there are camels, oryx, gazelles, snakes, lizards, scorpions, and lots of different insects. What plants grow in deserts? Small plants and bushes and plants like cactus grow in deserts. Desert plants sometimes have to survive with no rain for many years. They store water inside their leaves, roots, or stems to stay alive. And finally, what people live in deserts? People who live in deserts are called nomads. They move their animals and homes from place to place to find water and plants. There are nomads in most of the world's deserts. The Bedou live in the deserts in Arabia, the Tawarid live in the Sahara Desert in Africa, and the Aborigines live in the desert in Australia. And do you know any other information about deserts? You can write it here. Next is read and match. Look at the information that Pedro has sent Ahmed about some of the plants and animals that live and grow in rainforest. Read the information and match each fact file to a photograph. Let's solve this one together. Fact file 1. Rafflesia. The rafflesia is the largest flower on earth. It grows in the rainforest in Southeast Asia. The rafflesia grows on the floor of the forest. It grows over many weeks into a huge flower with 5 thick petals. It grows up to 1 meter across and has no stems or leaves. Unfortunately, the rafflesia smells horrible. It smells of rotting meat. Luckily, flies love the smell and help to pollinate the plant. The rafflesia flowers only live for 4 days. Fact file 2. Sloth. Sloths live in the rainforest in South America. They don't live anywhere else in the world. They spend most of the day holding on to rainforest trees and hanging upside down. They have long claws that stretch around trees. They hold onto the trees so tightly that they can fall asleep in them. There are 2-toed sloths and 3-toed sloths. All sloths eat leaves. Sloths move very slowly. They move 1 foot at a time. They are the slowest of all rainforest animals. They take nearly 1 minute to travel to 2 or 3 meters. Fact file 3. Orchid. Orchids grow in the rainforest all over the world. There are many different kinds of orchids of all shapes, sizes, and colors. Some orchids grow in the ground and others grow on trees or rocks. Many of the orchids in the rainforest grow high up on the tallest trees. These orchids get lots of light and water. Most plants have roots, which grow in the ground, but some of the orchids which grow in the trees have roots that hang in the air. Fact file 4. Orang-utan. Orang-utans live in the rainforest in Borneo and Sumatra in the Southeast Asia. They are red-haired apes. Orang-utans' arms are much longer than their legs. They use their long arms to swing through the trees. Orang-utans eat fruits, leaves, and sometimes birds' eggs. Orang-utans live alone. They build a new nest of leaves to sleep in every night. The name orang-utan is Malaysian and it means man of the forest. Well done, my friends. Now listen and answer. Listen to the questions on the tape and choose the correct answers. 1. Where do sloths live? 2. When do orang-utans build a new nest? 3. How long does a rafflesia flower live for? Excellent. Moving on to do a project. Imagine that you are going to enter the IKC environment competition. Work in your groups to choose the environments that you would like to do a project about. Choose an environment as group. Find information and pictures about the environment your group has chosen for the project. After this, each member of the group should choose a different animal or plant that live in the environment and find more information about it. Find or draw pictures and write about the plant or animal. Put all informations together and add it to the information about the environment. produce your project either as a poster or as a book. This is a fun task to do in your groups at school. Next is read and answer. Read this information about a strange rainforest plant and try and answer these questions. 1. Where do pitcher plant grow? 2. What do pitcher plant eat? 3. What happens when an insect falls into a pitcher plant? Let's read together and find out. Pitcher plants are strange plants that grow in the rainforest of South America and Southeast Asia. The name pitcher means a kind of jug. They are called pitcher plants because the flower of the plant looks like a jug. Pitcher plants are different from other plants because they eat insects. They have a nice smell and insects go to them to look for food. Pitcher plants have slippery leaves and insects quickly slip and slide down in the leaves into the flower. The pitcher flowers have a pool of liquid at the bottom of them. The insects can't escape from the wet, slippery flower as the insects fight to get out. The pitcher plant releases an acid and then eats the insects. The biggest pitcher plants have flower up to 30 centimeters deep. They hold more than 2 liters of the liquid. Pitcher plants that are this big can trap lots of insects and even mice and frogs. Great, so where do pitcher plants grow? In the rainforests of South America and Southeast Asia. 2. What do pitcher plants eat? Insects and some mice and frogs. 3. What happens when an insect falls into a pitcher plant? The insects can't escape, get out, and the pitcher plant releases an acid and then eats the insects. Excellent. Moving on to read, think, and correct. These are the lovely lizards. What do you know about lizards? Talk to your friends and find out what they know. Now read the fact files about these 3 different lizards. Let's read together. Fact file 6, Komodo dragon lizard. The Komodo dragon is the world's largest lizard. It grows up to 3 meters long. It eats meat and hunts monkeys, sheep, goats, and sometimes people for food. It is very dangerous. The Komodo dragon lives in the islands of Komodo in Indonesia. Komodo dragon have lived there for millions of years. Now fact file 7, thorny devil lizard. The thorny devil looks very scary, but it is shy. It only grows to about 15 centimeters long. Its brown and yellow skin helps to camouflage it on the sandy desert floor. The thorny devil only eats ants, and it lives in the deserts in Australia. Fact file 8, Parenti lizard. The Parenti is the world's 2nd largest lizard. It grows up to 2 meters long. It has got a very long tail and yellow spotted markings on its skin. It is very shy. It eats plants, insects, and small animals. It lives in the deserts in Australia. Great. Now 2, which is the last activity we will solve in this unit, read and think. Now look at these sentences comparing the lizards. Some of the information is true and some is false. Decide which sentences are true and which sentences are false. Write the false sentences so that they contain true information. 1. The Parenti is longer than the thorny devil. 2. The Komodo dragon is shorter than the Parenti. 3. The thorny devil is longer than the Komodo dragon. 4. The Parenti is the shortest lizard. 5. The Komodo dragon is the longest lizard. 6. The Parenti is shorter than the Komodo dragon. I will give you time to solve this one alone. Write true or false. Are you ready?